Hello, everyone, and we welcome to the first ever sanctioned KRRA event at Daytona. It's the Ballistic Beesechurgers Shootout, and it is definitely picking up to be quite the exciting race. And it's 30 laps around this 2.5-mile, world-renowned 31-degree banked super speedway, and now I feel like it is about time that we start. Just waiting for the command. And green flag is out at Daytona. And the bottom line gets the jump of the 90 of Yoshi, with the one of Thomas the Tank Engine, otherwise known as United, immediately getting a large run exiting the tri-oval as they come into turn one side by side. A little bit of lag there, but here they go, tandeming 2x2 out of turn two. They've gone 3 wide for second, down the backstretch. They seem to be rounding back out to a 2x2 car tandem. Down the Daytona Superstretch and into turn three, the HLR draft of the 80 and the 90 seemed to be faster into through 3 and 4. The 80 on the 80 and 18 on the bottom, the 90 and 1 on the top. Here they come 3 wide out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. The 18 of Tesla seems to be whoa, and no, that was nothing. Still 2 wide as they head into turn 1. All right, the oh my goodness. The 18 is spun, but he has saved it. And they're back to 2x2 tandeming yet again. Into turn 3, yet still tandeming 2x2, and the 80 has hooked the 18, but they've saved it. Exiting turn 4 to end lap 2. The 18 is our leader, with the 80 on the inside. And Tesla fan will lead lap 2. And here comes United on the inside. No, he's not going to take the move, but he was going to make a move for 3 wide there. The 80 car on the bottom. The 90 is falling back quite far. But the field of 4 cars. Oh, and they've gotten to a tussle, I guess. Exiting turn 4. They've saved it, but exiting turn 4, here they come. The 90 pushing the 80 into the tri-oval as they come to end off lap 3 and go on to lap 4. All right, the tandem drafting has broken up. Well, not really, but they have seen to be broken into 2 packs, with the 18 and the 1 in the bottom pack, and the 80 and the 90 in the top pack. The 90 to the outside, no. Now to the inside, down the backstretch into turn 3. He's going to make a move. And here comes United on the bottom. Into turn 3. The 90 is going to use the high line to try to get a run past the 80. Trying to lead this lap. Out of turn 4, down the front stretch into the tri-oval. It is not enough. The 80 still in the lead. for a first race, this is quite establishing the different aggressiveness and movement braveness level. Whoa! And we've got a spin on the bottom, but they've saved it yet again. Three wide into turn 3. Here comes the 1. Here's the 80. He's shoving the 90 into the wall. Out of turn 4. They're now single file exiting turn 4. The 18 is our leader. Into the tri-oval. Two wide, now 3 wide for the lead. Into turn 1. The 18 is a sitting duck. He's got a lane under him and a lane above him. There's nowhere he can go. The 1 has lost momentum. It's now 2 wide for the lead. Are they going to make it 3 wide again? Yes. No. No, they will not. 3-car tandem on the bottom. The 80, the 1, and the 90. Flying past the Toyota of the 18. The 80 moves up high. It's a 2x2 tandem. 3 wide for second now. Out of turn 4, and the 1 of Thomas the Tank Engine, that is right, is our leader through the tri-oval and will lead lap 6. Is the 18 going to make a move on the bottom for P2? We'll see. Whoa! The 18 almost completely turns around the 90, but they've saved it yet again. Into turn 3, the 18 on the apron. The 80 in the wall. They've gone 3 wide for second. They're scrambling all over the place for position. Down the front stretch, and the 1 is still our leader. The 18 to the inside for the lead. Alright, so it's been 8 laps. I think it's about time we discuss... Sorry. It's been 8 laps. I think it's about time that we discuss fuel strategy for these 4 cars. It's been assumed that a single car cannot make it the entire race on fuel, and so they would have to stop at least once in the entire race. Oh, and here comes the... No, never mind. Here comes the 80 to the bottom for the lead on the 18. They're tandeming on the top. 2 cars on the bottom side by side, and they're in the wall. They've wrecked. The caution is out for the first time here in Daytona. And what is this? What is this? The 1 has flipped on the front stretch grass. This is the 1 has flipped completely on his side. Yeah, that's right. It's just right there in the grass. He's flipped completely. Yeah, he's just on his side. They're just gonna tip him over, I guess. Yep, and there he is. He's flipped over. And as I was talking earlier, it's lap 10 of 30. 20 laps to go in this race. One could make a gamble now and see if they can pit and try to make it the rest of the race. Sorry. One could make a gamble trying to pit and try to make it the entire rest of the race on a single tank of fuel, because it's undetermined, the fuel window on these cars. And so, I mean, they've already run 10 laps. It's a third of the race. I mean, if drivers looked at their fuel and saw that, like, they had half fuel taken from one third of the race, then that means they could just barely make it the rest of the 2/3 if they pitted now and tried to just save fuel for the rest of the race. And drivers will be lining up on pit road right now to pit, you know. I mean, unique to most other leagues. I mean, of course, there's leagues like ASCA that also do this. But we use, custom pit boxes here. Like, drivers, have their own pit boxes. They go in and they have to go in their pit box, or else they get, a penalty. And so this is going to be quite interesting, because the positioning of your pit box most definitely can, put you first at a pit road or last at a pit road. And drivers will be entering the pits very soon. And as is displayed on the screen, exactly as I said earlier, drivers could try to gamble now and try to go 20 laps on their fuel, which may or may not be possible. Sorry, I think I've contracted a cold. So it looks as if half of the field will be pitting, and the fifth driver has joined the field, but of course he will be forced to pit and go to the rear of the field. So basically, he's forced to do the gamble strategy. But, he just joined after 10 laps, so he has to, be disadvantaged in some way, since he missed a third of the race, and therefore has a fuel advantage. And so, we should be pitting soon once the joining driver of FAM in the 42 gets settled. I think it's about time. Well, no. Uh, and nothing. Uh, just stay tuned for station identification on this random racing network. The voice of KRRA. Station identification is finished here at the unnamed racing network, as the drivers are about to pit for the first time of this race. And they've gone onto the pits. Well, you don't really have to take full fuel whenever you're pitting, so drivers most definitely could, gamble a shorter pit stop for less fuel taken, and therefore, they would have to pit earlier, but they would be farther ahead in front of other drivers. Of course, that gamble isn't a very good gamble to make under caution, because you're going to be like right behind them, even if you know get out of them after you pit, even if you get behind them exiting pit road, because they're all going to be grouped up, and so it's going to be really easy to just pass them. And so it's not really too good of a gamble to just do that. But I mean, like at a non super speedway where the field spreads out all the time, it's definitely a better, strategy to do. But here they go as they line to the KV43 Designs restart zone. No, not restart zone. Restart line as they line up there as we will continue this race. It is lap 10 of 30. And now they're gonna line up. I don't really have much to say. I kind of wish I had a co-commentator, but can't really do that. Anyways, they're going to line up, and we seem to have trouble lining up as some cars are stuck on the apron. How nice! Very, very good advice for when we have to do this for another 70 more laps in the actual race itself. Geez, this is gonna take a while, isn't it? Well, I might as well. We'll be right back for station identification on the unnamed racing channel, the voice of KRRA. All right, we're back green, and station identification is over. Green flag is in the air at Daytona. 21 laps remain in this event. Sorry. All right, so the 90 has seemed to, and the 18 is many, many lanes down, and he's going to move back up into the pack. They're in the wall. Entering turn 3, multiple car wreck, but they've saved it somehow, and they're going to keep it green. And here they come out of turn 4, coming to 20 laps remaining. The 90 of Yoshi for Highline Racing is going to lead this lap. But here comes the 18 Tesla Gibbs racing car of Tesla, obviously. He's going to attempt a pass through turn 1 and 2. He's looking, he's trying to find a place to pass, and that he's given an opportunity for the 90s Highline Racing teammates of Original and the 80 to get a move on the bottom. He's gone under the apron, almost 3 wide, but he's gone filed back into line. Oh my goodness, the 90 and the 18 in the wall in turn 3 and 4. Exiting turn 4. Here they come. The 80 has gone in a sizable gap due to the multiple incidents involving various cars, mostly including the 18, through turns 3 and 4. But here they come, tandeming the 42 and the 90. And now the 90 and the 80 are tandeming on the top. Teammates, Ford teammates, and actual team teammates. but the 90 on the outside line is falling. Oh, and the 80 in the wall! But he saved it. But that does not mean the 18 has been given an opportunity to make it 3 wide for the lead through turns 3 and 4. The top line is falling. The bottom is prevailing. The 80 in the lead with the 1 and the 42 pushing him. And Original will lead this lap. 18 laps remain. Through turn 1 and 2, here comes the 80. No, actually, here comes the 18. He's going to try to make a move on the bottom for the lead. Oh, and no, he's gotten hooked by the 1. They're into the inside wall. But they've saved it somehow yet again. The sheer amount of saving that these drivers have done this entire race, I mean, that's it's insane. I have a very weird pain in my throat. I don't know why. That's probably why I'm coughing. I just said. All right. The 42 has taken the lead on the bottom line as they exit turn 2. The 18 pushing right behind him down the backstretch, down the Daytona super stretch, entering turn 3. And the 80 and the 90 have got into the wall. It's an HLR team implosion. This is surely not good for the Ford team. And surprisingly, due to the 1 being a Chevy, it's still... Is it an HLR entry? I don't even know. I'll have to ask that after the race. But here they go, 2 wide for the lead. The 42 and the 18 as they enter turn 1. The 1 pushing the 18. But he's going to make a move on the inside now. He's going to try to take the lead for himself. As they exit turn 2, pushed by the 42. Down the backstretch, the 1 will prevail as they pass the chicane, entering into turn 3. What a move. The 18 is going to have to file in behind the 42 and the 1 as they've gone single file through turn 3 and 4. The 80 to the inside of the 90. They're going to exit turn 4 down the front stretch into the tri-oval. And look at this. Oh my goodness, the 18 hit the 1. They've wrecked into the outside wall. The 18 has hit the pit limiter. They're and somehow it's not caution. And they're going to have to merge for that one. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But anyways, the 42 in the lead. Here comes the 90 pushing behind him. They're going to make a 2-car HLR tandem. First on the outside, now on the inside. They've done a crossover on the 42 as they exit turn 4. They've gone 3 wide. Original on the bottom. He's going to try to take his position on the apron as they exit the tri-oval. The 90 still led that lap, even though they were 3 wide, and he was through the middle. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the 80 on the bottom. He's being pushed by the 42. Maybe not really. They're pretty far between each other, but still kind of pushed, like Arrow pushed. Down the Daytona super stretch, past the chicane, as they enter turn 3. And here's the 18 and the 1 as they are about to merge on the front stretch since the pack is in turn 3 and 4. And the one has been told to not be on the outside line and to be on the apron for this merge, so he doesn't completely wreck into them. And here they are under the yellow line, so they do not collide into traffic, into turn one, just trying to keep a lower pace than them so they can catch up to them and they can merge. And here comes the field pass. And here comes the 18 and the 1, and they're going to make pretty clean merges. And who's that? Who's a sitting duck on the outside there? That's the 90. But he's somehow managed to file back into line because the 1 has lost momentum. And now the 80 is a sitting duck. The 90 with a shove onto the 42. And the 80 just stuck on the outside line with nowhere to go. Only going far back from there, the tail of the longest line. And he's hit the 18. They're both in the wall. They've fallen back tremendously. As they exit the tri-oval, head down the exit of the tri-oval into turn one. Lap 19 of 30, 22 laps remain in this event. The 42 is our leader currently, with the 90 and the 1 pushing behind. The 18 in P4 and in P5, quite far behind, we have the 80. Oh, and speaking of fuel mileage, as I said, the cars, about this time, the cars that, didn't pit on the caution on lap 10 now have to pit because they're getting very, very, very close to running out of fuel. Here comes the 80 of Original into the pits. He's going to have to go all the way through pits into a stall. Going to have to wait in a stall. Then going to have to exit pits. He's going to lose a whole bunch of time. And he's missed his pit stall. He's going to have to go in reverse to get to his pit stall, or else that may be a penalty. And they're 3 wide for the lead into turn 3. Here comes the 18 on the inside. He's got the 1 pushing him. The 42 on the outside being pushed by the 90. As they exit turn 4, the 1, he's going to take the bottom. He's going to go to the lead. And he's going to go into the pits. Along with the 90, and the 18 is wrecked into the wall and spun directly into pit road. And the 42 is the only car that didn't go into pit road that time. The 18 is accidentally pitted, and he's just gonna go with it. He's just gonna go into a stall. He's gonna take the fuel, and he's just gonna go. He's just gonna go with it. What tremendous things happening on pit road tonight. Station identification. Good. And station identification is over. And here's the 1. The 1 is here, and he's got the 90 a few car lengths behind him. That's for second and third, and they're very, very far behind the first place car of the 42, who is still yet to pit. He may be trying to do that strategy that I was talking about earlier of trying to go 20 entire laps on fuel. Well, actually 21 because it was lap 10 when they pitted. Here we see the 42 exiting turn 4. And now we see the 18 and the 80. They're very, very far behind as they enter turn 1 while the 42 is going through the triover. They're almost lapped. And just think about this for the actual 500 because the 42 actually wrecked while they were going into pit road. He had to go all the way up to speed again. So drivers actually may be in jeopardy of being lapped if they pit under green flag in the actual full 100 lap race. And so that may, for drivers who may be competing in the 500, that may be a strategy for them to look over. Because if they pit, they may have to, pray for a caution or just, be in front of, just have to like draft together. So drivers may want to pit in packs. And it just has been confirmed. The 42 is actually attempting to go the entire rest of the race without pitting once. 21 entire laps he's trying to go, and we'll see if this strategy actually pays off. As the 42 heads into turn 3, he's definitely lifting off the gas every few seconds, trying to get every little milliliter of fuel to save into that fuel tank, which can only hold. Well, actually, it varies depending on each track, but for Daytona, it can only hold about 7,000 milliliters, and the fuel and the fuel window being unknown, and that first 10 lap stint taking away almost half of the fuel that the drivers had, it's not looking very possible for that 42 to be able to make it all the way. And that was some unexpected station identification here on the unnamed, unknown racing channel, the voice of KRRA. And now we've returned to see that the 1 and the 90 have actually gotten closer to each other and now seem to be trying to tandem draft to maybe gain some time on the 42 for if he either runs out of fuel or proceeds to actually, stop for fuel. And the thing is, the 1 and the 90 actually have pitted for not full fuel. They've pitted for maybe 3/4 of fuel. And so they're definitely trying varying strategies throughout this field. As the 42 enters turn 1, just reached the 3 to go sign. Only about 7.5 miles to go. hopefully the very, very small amount of fuel that 42 has is able to make it all the way. And according to the recent fuel check, about 1.2 thousand milliliters of fuel left in the tank of that number 42. And so, if if that 42 loses, uh, you know, like maybe less than like five 500 fuel this next lap, then it may look very possible. Well, we're gonna check how the fuel's looking on the 42. 800 fuel, and it looks like they only lost about 400 fuel in that last lap, which means that the 42, this strategy is actually gonna pay off. And this is purely insane, just trying to save every bit of fuel out of that 42. And the first ever race in this racing series is going to end on a fuel mileage strategy that was perfectly played out by the 42. As they come to the white flag down the front stretch, he might even lap the 18 car entering turn 1. He's going to try to go through the middle, not trying to go to the top or the bottom, anywhere that could make him, maybe like hit a clip and spin. He's just trying to just be able to coast it all the way down the backstretch, past the chicane, down the Daytona superstretch for the final time as they enter turn 3. And the 42 is surprisingly going to pull off a fuel mileage strategy at Daytona, which is a race that usually ends with 2x2 pack racing. And down the front stretch, the winner in Daytona Beach for the Ballistic Beesechurgers Shootout is going to be the 42 of FAM. He wins. And what a race that was. What a race that was. The strategy, the differentiation of strategy. With the leader pulling off this insane strategy, and then these two cars over here, they're going to be battling for P2, shoving. But it looks like the one is going to get P2, and he's in the wall as they cross the line. And now who is going to be getting P4 now? Well, we'll see. Well, I don't believe that we're gonna see. I guess we can just like look all the way up there. I suspect. But anyways, this race is over, and what a strategy! Just what did he plan this entire thing, or was it just impulse? And it looks as if the 18 will be finishing fourth, and fifth place has just completely just stopped, like on track, just stopped. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be continuing. Uh, so I think this race is about finished. I feel like that's a DNF for the 80. Well, no, if he had run out of fuel, he would at least be able to go like 19 miles an hour. So that's just completely by his own choice. All right, so uh, I might as well, while we're at it, with about 6 minutes left, I might as well, recite the finishing order and maybe give a recap of everything that happened in this race. Finishing first, obviously, was the 42 of FAM. And in second place, it seems to be the one of Thomas the Train, otherwise known as United. And third place, the 90 of Yoshi for Highline Racing, possibly Highline Racing for the 1, and, no team for the 42. And in fourth place, the lone TGR entry of Tesla Fan 9202. And in fifth place, yet another HLR part-time entry of Original, who is still very much yet to, start up that car, and just weirdly will not start up that car and just go to the start-finish line. That's all he has to do to get a finished race, and he's still yet to do it. And so that's going to be a DNF for him. And as now we will soon see the 42 burn it down. Station identification for the still unknown, unnamed racing network in which is broadcasting KRRA, and it's also the voice of KRRA. Here we are, yet again, back from station identification, and now it seems as if the 42 will come to about where the trioval ends and turn 1 starts, and will, burn it down, just blow up the tires. And here he comes. All right, just here we are. All right. And now he's gonna, he's gonna do his burnout. And here he comes, the 42, the definitely deserving winner of this race, will burn it down in Daytona Beach, as he is the winner of the Ballistic Beesechurgers Shootout at Daytona. The first ever sanctioned event in KRRA history. This hopefully will be the start of a bright future for this racing series. Thank you to everyone who has watched this broadcast, and I cannot wait for um all the events that may happen in the future, except maybe if there's a bad one, but uh yeah. So this Monday it will not be recorded, but this Monday there will be a practice session for the Cup Series, and it's just going to be a 30, maybe 40-minute practice session Monday at 6 p.m. It'll definitely be reported about, fastest time and stuff. Definitely be reported on community posts of this channel and stuff. And that'll definitely be the same for the duels, which are Thursday the 19th, and then Friday the 20th is the secondary series opener. And then Saturday the 21st, which will hopefully be, recorded and posted, later that day. Saturday night, I'd say it'll be posted, will be the first annual KB43 Designs 500 at Daytona. And here comes the 42 on his way to victory lane after winning the Ballistic Beesechurgers Shootout at Daytona. Alright, this is definitely going to take a little longer than, most other races will, because the 42 actually ran out of fuel as he was burnouting, so he's only going about 20 miles an hour as he goes under the Rolex bridge in the infield, and will take a left turn into Mobile 1 Victory Lane. Very slowly, though. Like, very slowly. And here we are. And now I feel like it's about time that, we end the commentating stuff and just, all right, thank you for watching. This has been the still unnamed Racing Network, the voice of KRRA.